today's topic is gonna be social media, and fundraising. And before we begin, I would like to tell you that the project is supported by Erasmus Plus platform. And today's webinar, as usual, it's gonna be recorded, so you can check it after after the whole series. We will send a link to you. And I would like to thanks all the partners who are in the project from Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, and Slovenia. Let's begin. So as I said, today's topic is gonna be social media marketing from my side. My part is gonna be this one. My name is Wojciech Kocurek, and I've been around 5 years into the disabled sports management and marketing field. I've studied Faculty of Sports Studies, Maastricht University, and now these days I'm the part of the university as external teacher. I have many experiences with international projects and also, I'm managing a range of social networks, so I have many experiences from this field as well. Also, I've been doing websites for a while. Sometimes I like to do some video making and copywriting, so all these fields are close to me, and I would like to give you my knowledge and my point of view of the social media topic today. So I hope it's gonna be good for you and you will take a lot from it. So for beginning, I would like to tell you something for introduction. Do you know something about social media? I would say yes, because we are in daily touch in it. And let's say, what is social media marketing? It refers to the process of gaining attention or traffic through social media sites. So it involves creating and sharing content on social media networks in order to achieve your marketing and branding goals. Okay. This includes posting text and images updates, videos, and other content that drives audience engagement as well as paid social media advertising. That's the somehow I would say the definition of the social media marketing, and I would say that a lot of things make sense about these sentences, and you know these informations already. However, let's continue about the importance of social media marketing. These platforms provide access to a large audience. These days, mostly we are communicating through the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and other social media platforms. And I would say that they are taking the like leading position in communication in the field of communication. So reach is first. Engagement. It's the unique opportunity for everyone. If we speak about the brands or the sports clubs or the individual people, it's always the unique opportunity to sell yourself, sell your products, or sell your community, or create some community. Okay, so it is the place when offer can meet the customers. Cost effectiveness. More cost effective than traditional advertising. As I said before, these days you are spending most time on social media platforms. So it is most effective way how you can, let's say, start communication with your new social, your colleagues, your partners, how to entertain your followers, or easily you can sell something you are trying to sell. And insights, these days, valuable data you can reach and get from the social media. So you can have, let's say, great look into your work, and you can know what you are doing good and what should you do better. And the third part of introduction is the evolution, because early days it was about the personal connections. I think you can remember when Facebook and Instagram started, it was about to sharing some personal posts. It was about to write to your friends or colleagues. We usually put some photos of ourselves from daily life or some let's say important things in our lives, but it was for personal connection. Then there was some rise of influencers, and it's still going. That people through the social media platforms are they are gaining, let's say, followers, and they are making some social groups who are following them, and they can easily sell the products to them. Okay, so influencers are usually people who influence some social group, and they are promoting brands to increase the sales, for example. Then integration of e-commerce. You probably saw that on Facebook or Instagram, there are shopping features. You can sell directly through these social media platforms. And it was another level which made all this stuff much faster, and a lot of brands switched from web pages to Instagram and Facebook selling, because it is fast, and it is more like the marketing is easier to make it on social platforms. Fourth, advancements in targeting, because when you work with social media and you really dive deep into it, you can target really precise social group. And for example, if you are some brand and you are paying for advertisement, you can target your customers really well. And the last one is focus on video content, because these days we usually use some reels and videos to get the connection with the people. And these days life goes really fast, and we have only few seconds on these platforms to catch the customer or the potential follower. So we have to do it like visible, and it has to be, let's say, catchy to catch your eyes, and your uh, how to say, to show you that you should start following the page easily. Okay, let's move on. Understanding social media platforms. I would say that everyone who's online or offline watching this webinar saw at least one of these logos during the time. Each social media platform, as it's written, serves unique purposes and reaches different demographics, making it crucial for marketers to select platforms that align with their business goals and target audience. We have 5 major social media platforms here in logos. First is Instagram, second is Facebook, third is X. It was Twitter previous. Fourth is YouTube, and fifth is LinkedIn. So let's go one by one right now. Facebook. And I would like to tell you always the same 4 points about the demographics, usage, what is best for, and some content tips. So about the Facebook. It has a broad user base with significant representation across age groups, making it ideal for reaching a diverse audience. I would say that demographics When you use Facebook, you can aim for, let's say, older audience than on Instagram, or for example, TikTok is pretty famous as well. However, I do not use it, so I don't want to talk about it. And during on Facebook, you can really precisely aim for a broad user base. It is also best for building communities because you have a lot of sites on Facebook. You can make groups and etc. Brand awareness. I would say that every single bigger or smaller brand has their own Facebook page, because you can make some. You can, let's say, you do not need a website these days if you have Facebook, because it has the same effect. Next one is customer service, because you can communicate with the customers directly and targeted advertising through its sophisticated AD platform. If you know how to put money into advertising, you can really get a lot of out of it. What it's best for: brand awareness, lead generation, customer engagement, and targeted advertising, as I said before. And about the content tips, use a mix of content types, including videos, live sessions, because live sessions are pretty common these days, and a lot of people use this opportunity. And interactive posts. Utilize Facebook groups to build communities. That's the important thing about social media, because you should every time work with the community. And there are, I would say, probably two ways. Because first is that you are in some community, or you have some community which you have to, let's say, start entertaining. And the second way is that you are starting to creating community. So you have these 2 points of view, and each of these has a little bit different way to reach the goal. Second, Instagram. I would say the most famous social platform these days. I'm not sure about the number, but it should be more over 1.5 billion people are using it. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but let's say 1 out of 8 is using the Instagram through the world. And I would say that if you do not have this social platform, you're wasting an opportunity, because and we are going to talk about it later. It is firstly, it's free, and you can reach great great following base. So I will tell you more right now about the geographics, because it skews towards younger audience. That's important, because you are starting with younger audience, and you can start to work with them much earlier than on Facebook. So you can, how to say, you can work with them more easily. Second, particularly those interested in visual content such as photos and videos. Instagram is much faster, and it aims on visual things such as photos and videos. So it's great for brand storytelling. If you have some brand and if you have some story, put it together, and story always sells the best. So if you want to do influencer marketing, direct sales, and etc., you always should have the story which you following. Also, it's best for branding, visual storytelling, influencer collaboration. I will speak about this later, because it's so important, and can give you a big opportunity to increase your followers base and also the impact of your brand and direct sales through shoppable posts. In the content tips, I would definitely tell you to use high quality images. Uh, you can use stories for time limited offers or behind the scenes content, and let's say some uh, stories from day-to-day life. And from my point of view, the most catchy content is reels. So you can do this as well. And if you aim properly for the, let's say, hashtags and these days some more important the audio behind the visual content, you can reach a bigger audience as well. Third social platform is Twitter, these days X. It is more, it is more, let's say, how to say, it's more used by professionals and authorities such as municipalities, whole countries, big corporates, and on this social platform you can also attract wide range of users. I think it is still not censored, so you can put anything you want on X. And I would say it interests more older audience than youngsters, because for youngsters, Twitter isn't as fast and as catchy as Instagram or TikTok. It's excellent for real-time engagement, customer service, and participation in trending conversations. What more should I tell you? Brand personality expression is a good way how to use X. From my point of view, mostly corporates and politicians and important and well-known persons are using the X to just tell the world what they are think about and what they want to say, and that's it. Content tips: engage in trending topics, use hashtags, and maintain a consistent posting schedule. I would say that for the sports field, Twitter or X isn't as important, because if there is some association or someone who should use X, it should be always, for example, National Paralympic Committee or some national head organization, which is covering the another levels of its, for example, sports. So for you or for me personally, isn't X as interesting, but it's good to know that it exists and for what it should be used. However, what should be interesting for you is LinkedIn, because it is professional. It has usually professional audience, including individuals, however, B2B businesses as well. It is ideal for professional networking, marketing, and recruitment. You can, let's say, share some industry-related content. You can share your stories, your brand storytelling. You can you can sell what you are doing, and most importantly, you can reach new connections with important people or brands for you. I think that maybe we will hear more during the topic of fundraising about LinkedIn. However, from my point of view, as a social platform, it is professionally used. You won't find some youngsters who just wanna find some entertaining. You will find there people who are looking for work, who are offering the work, who are want to start cooperating with someone. And for every sports organization, non-profit organization, let's say any association, organization, or corporate, it should be the number one social platform. Content tips, you can publish articles, share your insights, and engage with professional communities. YouTube, it is, let's say, different than these four I was speaking about. It has a broad and diverse user base with a significant presence across all age groups. However, the biggest, let's say, difference between YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X is that it aims only for video content. And it's including on one side, you can find really professional educational stuff there. On the other hand, you can find quick shorts, let's say reels, which are only entertaining you. And I would say that YouTube is a great platform to put your followers something else. It is great platform if you have some visual content you would like to share. For example, if we connect it with boccia, you can create video tutorials how to play boccia. What is it all about? What kind of balls you should use? What are some training techniques? However, at the other hand, you can do some interviews, you can do some podcasts, and this is the main reason why you should start doing the YouTube. However, YouTube isn't, from my point of view, as important for you as a platform for you as a creator. However, you should use it as someone who is finding and looking for some content. For example, do not be afraid to find some knowledge on YouTube, because sometimes it takes time, because it's full of a lot of, let's say, low quality videos, low educational level. However, you can find the opposite as well. So if you're looking for some advice, YouTube is a great platform. And if you would like to be a content creator, focus on high quality video production, it should be clear and compelling storytelling. And if you would like to reach some level that you are earning money from YouTube, you should definitely scheduling consistent content. Okay, it is the most important thing to build, let's say, stabilized social platform, because if the followers doesn't get the content on some scheduled days, they won't follow you in the future. Okay, so what is important for you? Choosing right platforms, understanding your audience goals, and the type of content you would like to consistently produce. Okay, it is important to know what you would like to share with people, because if you will think about it in a way that I would like to share something, I don't know what exactly I would like to share. However, I would like to reach a lot of people, that won't work. You have to start with small audience, however, with great goal and with the great knowledge of the content you would like to share. And businesses should focus on platform where the target audience is most active and engaged. For example, if you would like to sell something, you should go for Facebook and Instagram. If you would like to get connection with important people, you should use LinkedIn, etc. Okay, let's talk about the strategies for effective social media marketing. Effective social media marketing requires a multi-phase approach that encompasses content creation, engagement, and advertising. And let's see how businesses can leverage these strategies. First, content creation. You should create a mix of content types. For example, posts, mix it with videos, with stories. If you would use only one of these content type, it won't work effectively. And of course, you should know about your audience preferences. So if you have audience which is interested more in videos, you should focus on videos. On the other hand, if you see that stories are the most effective way how to share something, use these most. And quality and relevance should be prioritized to capture attention, of course. Consistency and planning. I told this a few minutes ago. You should use some content calendar to maintain a consistent posting schedule. It is truly important. However, what is more important to you is that it will make it easier for you. Okay, so planning helps in aligning your content with marketing goals and ensures a steady stream of material. It won't happen if you would have some plan and some scheduled posts. It won't happen that you would sit in the office behind the screen and you will think, what should I put out because I should put out something. Okay, consistency and planning are crucial for well working social platform. Authenticity and storytelling, that's something what is truly interesting, and it is interesting topic because if you are a big brand, and I think that this should be important for everyone, even if you are a big brand, small brand, if you are a sports club, or if you are non-profit organization, special school, doesn't matter. Storytelling should be always number one, and it should be connected with authenticity. Okay, you should always be authentic, and you should have something what is important to you, what makes you who you are, and the people from abroad, people who are your followers or potential followers, should feel from you that that's true, and what you are selling them or showing them is something what comes from you, not from your plan to reach some money or something else. Because even if you want to use social platforms as something, some stream to reach, to get money from it, you shouldn't think about the money in the first place. You should always start with the brand, with the authenticity, then you should plan it, be consistent, and on the end of this chain, there will always be some money feedback if you aim for it. Share behind the scenes, customer stories, other content that adds a personal touch to your brand. That is the storytelling. Engagement strategies. Use interactive content. You can use some pool squeezes. I would tell you, and from my experience, use whatever you want, whatever pops in your mind, and do not be afraid to try new things. Just try it. It will work or it won't work. That's it. If it will work, you can increase engagement. If it won't work, you will still increase the engagement because you will reach someone at least. Community management. You should actively monitor, respond comments and messages. So just be active and communicate with your community. And of course, you can use generated content. So encourage customers to share their own content related to your brand, trust among your audience. I would say that from these 3 points I prepared for you is the most important, the community management with interactive content. Advertising. This is a topic which these days makes the biggest difference between the companies who has the great sales and the companies who has the great social group. Okay. What I want to say, everyone can buy advertising and advertise their product. And it doesn't matter if you are a sports club and would like to pay for post which is aiming to reach new players or new I don't know trainers or audience to your tournament, or if you are a brand who is selling I don't know equipment, for example. In both you can use advertising. However, my personal experience is that if you are from non-profit area and you would like to build your brand and build your followers base, you should let's say leave advertising for the rest. You should use like nature getting followers and do not pay for advertising for if you would like to pay for it, use wisely what you would like to pay for. However, you can target it really well. Social media written platforms use offer advanced targeting options, and you can aim age, I don't know, place of staying. You can aim for the hobbies of the persons, etc. So you can really effectively target your customer. Ad formats and creative use. Each platform offers various AD formats, so you can a lot of types of advertising. I think everyone from you saw some advertise on Facebook or Instagram, and it is not something we would like to like. It is not something we look for. It's there because someone's paying for it, and yes, sometimes we can find really interesting things or brands through it. However, I would say, from my point of view, that it makes me more angry than satisfied to see the ads on Facebook. And of course, you can measure what you reach. That's something I would say is much more useful and important for you. Social media marketing tools. As I said before, scheduling is a great opportunity for you to save time and consistently post your posts, even if it's photos, videos, and etc. You can use some tools like Buffer, Hotsuite for planning and automatically post. My recommendation is do not be afraid of Meta Business Platform, which is connected with Facebook and Instagram. Sometimes it doesn't work as well as it should. However, it's free and it's easy to use. Analytics, there are many platforms which you can use. Again, you can use some native analytics tools from Facebook or Instagram, for example, or you can use third-party options. I have the example here. Content creation tools such as Canva, Adobe, and Unsplash. I would definitely recommend you to take a look at Canva, because for non-profit organizations, it's for free. You can use it for free. And like we are talking about the pro version, it is for free for everyone in some, let's say, demo version. However, if you would like to use it in full range of options, try to get the pro version, because it will offer you to make posts for Instagram, Facebook. You can work on few different formats of pictures. You can make videos. You can make collections. You can make I don't know, whatever you would like to do, because it has so many options. So definitely take a look at it. And the last, which is pointed with social marketing tools, is customer service. So this is usually used by bigger brands and corporates, and we speak about bots and some monitoring tools. I think you have some experience with some chatbots on Facebook, for example, when you click on some page and you visit some page, and automatically there is a chat which pops out, and chatbot asks you what are you looking for, or what would you like to do. So these are helpful as well. However, in the sports field, I do not see the pluses as big as in brands and corporates field. So we can see the social media marketing tools. There is a Meta Business Pro picture. So you can take a look. I hope you can see it well, how the calendar looks like. And you can see the Facebook posts, Instagram posts, if you have the Instagram and Facebook connected together. You can plan the posts for the future, and it has much more options in it. So you can see insights as well. You can see graphs. You can see reach. And many other ways. So if you have Facebook page or Instagram page, try to put it together and connect it with Meta Pro. I think you can get a lot of it. There we can see some insights of Facebook page. You can see that the reach was 2.2 thousand people. However, the interaction with the posts was only about 200 people. Followers in long term, 82, and clicks on the posts, or how to say, right now I can't remember the word. I'm sorry, but they were only 31 people clicked on the addresses for another platform. So these are the insights, and this is a picture of Canva. This is what it looks like. We can see that you can create or work with documents. You can do some whiteboard presentations, social media stuff such as Instagram posts, landscape, Facebook posts. Instagram stories, WhatsApp status. So it has the specific size for each posts. Like if you speak about the square post for Instagram or landscape for Facebook, you can do the profile pictures there. Just anything you can even think about. You can also do some videos, print products as banners or roll-ups or diploma, some certificates. All these you can prepare in Canva. So definitely take a look at it. And let's move on. Measuring success in social media marketing, because we have the presentation have more slides, so I will try to do it a little bit faster. Engagement rate can measure the level of interaction content and receive relative to reach or followers. Reach and impressions. Reach is the number of unique users who see the content, while impressions are the total number of times your content is displayed. I will go back, and here you can see that the reach was 2.2 thousand and interaction only 200. Follower growth. That's something you should like monitor. However, I would say personally that it shouldn't be the most important thing for you. Always, most important should be the level of posts you are posting. So always focus on quality photos, videos, and the content you are creating. However, of course, you can see how your follower base is growing, and also you can monitor click-through rate, CTR, which is the ratio of users who click on a specific link. Yeah, link is the word I forgot. So you can see total users who view a page, email, etc. Here we can see for graphs, there is also always Facebook on left and Instagram on right. We can see that that's from an event because it has a big pop during few days, and then the reach is much lower. However, you can see the reach on the first, which is about 21.4 thousand people. You can see the reach on Instagram. You can see visits on Facebook and Instagram, and on the right side there is likes and following. So new followers. No, you can, yeah, followers on Instagram plus 45 and new likes on Facebook page. And the last one, which is below the likes and followers, there is trends of advertising, and you can see that zero money was waste for the advertising, and we are able to reach these numbers. Okay, so it's important what you are doing and how you are doing this content, then how much you pay for it. Analytic tools we can use native platform analytics, like I told about the Meta Plus. We can use Google Analytics, which are great, and I recommend these for web pages. So if you have some organization or association web page, definitely use Google Analytics. Google also have the free packages for non-profit organizations. So if you are non-profit, don't waste your time and go to Google, register yourself, and you have a lot of stuff for free. However, to analyze your web page background is really important to know what audience is following you. However, it can give you an point of view what the customers or followers are looking for, because you can precisely see what they are clicking on, what pages they are looking for, what is interesting for them, how much time they spend on each section of your web page. So do not hesitate to use Google Analytics. And also there are some third-party tools. So there is a lot of potential programs or features you can use. Here you can see a screenshot from Google Analytics. You can see how many users visited the page and how many new users visited the page. That should be on a second picture. So there is only this graph is only about the total users, and it is one year. There you can see some from where the users, the followers get to know about your profile, your website. So for example, from organic search, that means they just went through Google browser, etc. Referral, direct, or organic social. And right side, you can see some campaigns. However, I think these are pretty similar to the left sides. I don't know exactly here what is the campaign meaning. So important from us is here is from where the users know about your website, okay? Also, you can see the whole world, and you can see from what countries people following you. For example, in this case, we can see mostly people are from Czechia and Poland, then from India, because you will always have people from India visiting your site. Because from my personal experiences, they just monitor all sites or web pages which are available, and usually they try to find some things which are bad, and they can sell you something, or there would be more things we can speak about. However, count on them that there will always be people from countries like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan who will visit your web page. For you, most important are countries you are aiming for. You are okay. So for us, for example, in this case, Czechia, Poland, and Slovakia. And also you can see how much time, if I'm not mistaken, you are active users trending, user activity over time. Yeah, so these are another thing you can measure. Okay, and now we can speak about the most important part of the presentation. Because I think that this is most important to tell you essential steps for starting out. If you do not have Instagram, if you do not have Facebook, what you should aim for. So first, set clear objectives. Determine what you want to achieve with your social media presence. Next step would be to choose the correct platform. So if you would like to reach, I don't know, young people, for example, if you would like to reach volunteers for your tournament, etc., use Facebook or Instagram. You won't use, I don't know, YouTube, for example. Okay. Understand your audience, identify who you are trying to reach, and understand their social media behaviors. Okay, so if you aim to athletes, social group, or potential donors, if you aim for sponsors, you would choose different strategy than if you just want to increase your followers base. Third part, create a content strategy. I told about, I spoke about it past, that you should always have some strategy, some plan. You should planning your posts. You should work with this because it will save you time and you can work with it more effectively. And fourth is profile setup. Always, or let's say, never forget to set up your profile well, because it is something that what people usually, or let's see, followers, potential followers, or the audience see as first when they come to your profile. So make sure yourself it's filled out with a clear description of your organization or the tournament, etc. A link to your website if you have one, and fill it out with high quality posts. Key focus areas: authenticity and storytelling. Authentic content fosters deeper connection and engagement. Do not forget about this, that authenticity and storytelling is the key area for you. Second, visual content. Utilize high quality images and videos to showcase your activities, events, people involved in your organization. I would always recommend to post less posts with high quality images than to go for quantity over quality. Community engagement. Actively engage with your followers by responding to comments, sharing, and etc. It will help you to build a community, and that's something what is crucial for non-profits. We will always aim for building some community, not to just share, post, and find some potential customers. No, try to build a community which will, let's say, help you to grow. And fourth is accessibility. Using images, descriptions, captions on videos, for example, for those who are visually or hearing impairment. Think about this because it can help you make your site or social media platform more accessible. What to prioritize? Consistency, quality over quantity, and engagement. I think I do not need to speak about it more specifically because I told you everything. However, be consistent. Try to at least put one post per week on social platforms such as Instagram or Facebook. Try to post at least one post during the month on LinkedIn or YouTube. Always try to have some consistency, because if your audience will catch this consistency and they will like get used to it, that for example every Monday there is new post about how to train, they will share it with other people and they will let them know, and it will help you to grow your page, because also the mechanisms which are inside and which are like managing these platforms will work better for you if you will be consistent. Quality over quantity and engagement. Interact with your audience, build relationships, and make or create a supportive community. Additional tips, and from my point of view, the most important tip, and that's connected with Instagram, is to collaborate. It is the feature which is, I don't know, about 1 to maybe 3 years on Instagram. I'm not sure, frankly saying, However, collaborating means that you can post some content on your Instagram profile, and you can collaborate with some other profile. So, for example, if you have Bucha Club profile, and you would be able to make a collaboration with and okay, let's say Paralympic profile, which has over a few millions followers. It will be shown on both profiles. So people, all the people who follows Paralympic profile will see also your club, that it is a collaborator. So the chance that they will follow you as well is so high that it can helps you a lot. Okay, so partner with other organizations, influencers, and brands, and you can really get a lot out of it. Second is use hashtags wisely, because a lot of people still using hashtags, finding through the hashtags. So I would say it can help you more with, let's say, some likes, and it won't work as good for followers from my experience. However, for reels, for example, it can reach your reach. Monitor and adapt. Use social media analytics to understand what works and refine your strategy over time. That's important as well, because even if you are starting, you can go more deep into it, and as soon as you figure out what works for you and what isn't the best way, so as soon as that's clear to you, sooner you are able to be more profitable, to be more visible, and grow faster. For the very last slide, I think I have here two pictures. First is from Czech Wheelchair Basketball Association. And what I want to share with you here is that you can see the strength of collaboration. Okay, so you can see 6 posts here. On the first line, there is 600 viewers, 400 viewers, 3,000 viewers. However, on the bottom, you can see, for example, 43,000 people who saw the reels. And that's because it is in collaboration with 2 or 3 other profiles. And you can see that it can increase you in 100 times. And on the right side, there is a post from Bucha, Slovakia. And I would just tell you that that's the way, that's the good example how you can prepare your posts. Okay, it has not too much sentences, too much words. It is just enough. There are the emoticons used. Some people are connected with the post, and also some other profiles are mentioned, and you can see 5 hashtags. So that's the great example. And just now something popped in my mind about the hashtags. Do not overuse them. Always use 3 up to 8 hashtags which are really connected with the post. If you will overuse them, the Instagram will decrease your reach of the posts. So that's it. For the end conclusion, social media platforms are for free. So use it well, and use it as soon as possible if you are not using them. Do not waste time. Start today. If you do not have Instagram profile or Facebook profile or LinkedIn, do not hesitate and create it as soon as possible and try to educate yourself and find some ways how you can manage to grow your audience on these social platforms. Be passionate and don't be discouraged because it will take a long time then you before you reach your goal. If we speak about the number of audience or some let's say influencer collaboration, etc. However, it will always help you to have something you can share with your partners, for example, potential partners, and always these will help to grow your community. And the last tip is try new things and new workflow. These platforms are great for trying, for let's say playing with the stuff inside and just play with it. Make it as do it as you feel it, and it should be authentic. So if you have some story to tell, go for it and try to sell it to your audience. And that's it for today. I hope I wasn't too long. I hope I told you some new things about the social media platforms, about the social media marketing. If you would have some questions, do not hesitate to ask me. If you would like to, if you would like to ask me for help with, you can say, starting your social media or other things, let me know, and I would be glad if I can help you with anything.
For me, it is a privilege to share my experience, my knowledge. For the first time, I have to say that fundraising is my passion. It is the topic which I really love. And I think that I would like to share what is very important in my point of view of fundraising. Feel free to ask wherever you would like to ask, because I think it's important when something goes to your mind, just feel free to ask, and we can continue. Maybe for the first time, I have to say that fundraising is my topic or my job for 7 years. And I learn how to be better fundraiser from every meeting, from every email, because it's very changing. And I will tell you a lot about that fundraising is a journey. It's changing a lot. What was possible 5 years ago, now it doesn't work. So I think it's very interesting, also maybe to listen to your story, about to your fundraising story. So we can go for fundraising. As Vojta was talking about LinkedIn, I think that LinkedIn is very important for fundraiser. So, for example, there is my QR for fundraising for LinkedIn profile, so you can find me and we can connect also via LinkedIn. So it's very easy, and I don't know who of you is on LinkedIn profile, but for fundraising is the best platform, and we will share some ideas how we can use it and why LinkedIn is very important for your fundraiser job. So maybe for me it is the most important to think what is fundraising, because when we will talk about fundraising, I think that all of you will have another idea or view of fundraising. And on the first slide, I would like to introduce what is before in our 1 hour speech. We will talk about what is fundraising, who is fundraiser, how to get in touch with your donors, and how to take care about donors. But for the first time, I have to say that what is fundraising is the most important what we will think about. For me, fundraising is making connection. A lot of people think that it is something that you knock on the door on the office and you just open your hand and you just say, we want to support our event, we want to support our Bocha event and give us money. It could be, but it will not be so successful. I think for me is the most important to connect people, to maybe we can tell to build the bridges, and connect people who are willing to help and to people who are in need. For example, for you, it is Bocha team, Bocha players, and so on. And you need to find connection and to build very strong connection. For me, it is very important to tell you about long-term relationship because it is very difficult to find a new donor. It is said that every donor support one NGO for 7 years, and then after that he is looking forward to some other NGO. So you have 7 years to have one donor who is willing to help you, who wants to be the part of your Bocha team, but after 7 years, maybe he wants to find another team, another area of help. So this is very important to support the relationship, to strengthen it, and to be with the donor and to know what he thinks about how he how he loves your Bocha team, because it's the most important that you make a relationship, you make cooperation, you build a bridge, and the donor should love your team, your Bocha team, and then it will be perfect and it will work. And as I said for the first time, fundraising is also journey. It changes a lot. And for example, now maybe you know these three letters: ESG, environment, social, and governance. Every bigger company needs to do something like ESG rating, and they need to do good things in environment area, in social area, and in governance area. And they are looking for new partners, for new NGO, for new charities, for new sports club, for the local communities. And mainly, they are looking for the local teams, and they are ready to support them. In 1 or 2 years, maybe 3 years before us, ESG topic will be very spoken on LinkedIn, on some media. And as I said, companies and banks and so on, they are ready for cooperation. They need you because they need to do ESG rating. I recommend you to study it a little bit, because there is a great opportunity to be the part of their ESG rating. For example, in our NGO, we prepared some article, some post. Also, we use Canva, as Vojta told, and we are prepared when someone asks us about ESG. We are ready to tell him how we can be connected with them in in environment, in social, and in governments. For you, you can use the letter S. in a social media, and it is really the great area. And when you will ask the new donor to support Bocha team, you can use ESG, and it will be in their mind of the donors. Oh, ESG, we need it, we need them, and let's make a new cooperation. So I think that what is fundraising is very important, that it isn't something short, it isn't something like opening the hand, but it is about relationship, about the cooperation. Maybe I will tell it several times, but for me, it is the most important things what I wanted to tell you and to leave it in your mind. And we can go continue, Vojta, please. So maybe we can wait a little bit, and I would like to give you 1 minute or 30 seconds. Who is fundraiser in your team, in your Bocha team, or in your team you are taking part of? Who is fundraiser? Maybe you just think that, oh, we have fundraiser, it's Peter or Paul or Jane. But I would like to share you, we can continue, Vojta, that everybody is a fundraiser in your team. Last week, I told to one small NGO, I told with the director, and they are looking forward to some new fundraising strategy, and they discussed their view of this problem. And I told them, to director, you are also the fundraiser. You have perfect fundraiser, but also the director is a fundraiser. Everyone is fundraiser. Maybe you think now, oh, it's crazy. I don't think so. I will tell you why I think so. Because everyone has some friends, everyone has some relationship with some companies, neighbors, from family, and so on. And from everyone, it is important to have the contacts, the tips. So, for example, if you are the small team, I recommend you to just to spend 1 hour and to write the tips who would like to invite or to ask or to meet, and to invite for a donation. And we will tell also that the donation could be very different. It doesn't be important only to think about money, but we will continue in that topic. So everybody is a fundraiser in your team, because everyone knows some important or not important, but who can help your team. We can continue. And now I would like to tell about a little bit who is successful fundraiser, what is important, and also it is very important, the mindset of fundraising. Several times I tell to other people that for me, fundraising is something like emotional business. It's very fragile, but it's very strong. And when you will have fundraiser or the director or the passion of the team who loves your team and loves to talk about what you do, it is the perfect one for fundraiser, because he will spread the passion of your work, of your help, of your sports activities, and he will be inspirational for other people who will meet. And so the passion and business mindset, because fundraising is also about money and about strategy. The next is, I think it's very important to have creative thinking, because as I said, it is about cooperation, and it is very important to find the right cooperation. Maybe I will tell you 2 stories. It was when the war in Ukraine started in February 2 years ago. We had phone every 5 minutes the first days. It was the worst, my job or the days in my job, because it was very hard. and a lot of people ask how we can help, be helpful. And the biggest private television in Czech Republic, they called me and they asked, we will prepare material collection. We will collect some sleeping bags and shoes and winter clothes. And we would like to start tomorrow. And I told them, stop. And you are great for making entertainment because you are the professional in it and you are great in it. So let's use your profession to the help. And they told me how we can be helpful in entertainment. And I told them, let's do entertainment in the centers where small young children came to centers. For example, in bigger cities, Brno, Prague, and so on, there were centers which collect the Ukraine refugees. And it was very important, and they serve as an entertainment team or animators there, and they help moms to arrange everything important, insurance and so on, living, and the kids have some kids places with entertainment, and it was perfect. And for me, it was very important, this story, that you have to think how you can use in professional way the donors, because they are open to help, but they need to tell how they can be helpful in the best way. And then when they do what they can and they are perfect, they will love to do it. And for me, for example, if I would be fundraiser of Boccia team, I would think a lot about some companies which are, for example, which have the connection to some, for example, disabled people. Some director of the company can have disabled child, and then he will love to support, for example, Boccia team, because he will have the heart in it. When I ask, for example, for elderly people, as I have on my back, for me it is very important know if the director of company has, for example, some old people around him, how he feels about this topic. And it is very important to be to involve the donor to your topic. Then next step, brave to ask for money. Maybe you think, sure, fundraiser, ask for money. But I will have to tell you that not a lot of fundraisers ask for money. They ask for something like, oh, we would like to be supported. What you can give us? What can you give us? But it isn't ask for money. It is very important to negotiate about money and about PR. For me, it was also the way, and I am learning all the way. And it is very important to know what you want from the donor. If you want 10,000 euro for the event, for some match, for example, between the Boccia team, or if you need 1,000 euro for I don't know, for traveling to other matches. It's very important to tell the amount of money and how the money will help. Because sometimes some companies, they tell me that NGO came to them and they don't know what they want really. It's strange, I know, but it happens. So you have to know what you want and how many money. And for the business, for the companies or local teams or local or cities or state, it is very important to think about it. Oh, 10,000 euro, it is maybe too much. We can support 8,000 euro, but it is clear, and they are open to talk about money and fundraising. A lot of I can share a lot of examples that fundraising doesn't speak about money. So don't be afraid and be brave to ask for money and negotiate about money. A lot of fundraiser doesn't like to hear no. And maybe from 10 meetings, nine times they will hear no, we will not support you because we support some other things, etc. And I have to tell you that no doesn't mean forever, because some company can support, as I said, some other charities, some other programs, some other sports programs, some other disabled people. But you can invite them and to stay in touch. For example, via LinkedIn. It's the best way how you can you use LinkedIn profile. After meeting, just collect the people who you met, and to stay in touch. And when they read your articles, your post about how you will talk about boccia or other sports you do with disabled people, they will think about it. And maybe after 1 or 2 or 3 years, they will write you or they will ask for a meeting and they will begin to support you. It is not in 100%, but for me, it happens quite a lot. But it is very important to stay in touch. When you will not stay in touch, it will not happen. But no, it doesn't mean no forever. And the last point was for me, maybe the worst, to be organized and to be properly organized, to have some Excels and to have there not only the donors and some info about donors and meetings and what they would like to support, but also about the partners, for example, who told you no. And then when you will have them together, donors and partners, or the people who would like to invite for donation, you will have the list, it is very precious list of contacts. And when you will send, for example, 3 times a year, some infos, what happened or some story, as also Vojta said, storytelling is very, very strong, and it works, that you can use one photo and small, for example, some story about successful Paralympionic, then it will work. And you will not send it only to the donors, but you will send it also to the partners or people who you already met. We can go on. Why we should do fundraising? Yes, maybe you think and you agree for money, but I would like to share some other topic and which are, I think, important. Sometimes you only need to support your PR and to support your brand. For example, you are in some area, in some city, and you have enough money, or just it's okay, but you need to be more known. You need to be, for example, when I started in fundraising in Brno, it was very difficult. There was only one donor, and there is a lot of NGO and bigger and great, they do great job, and it was very, very difficult how to start and to be known, because they need to know what you do and then they would like to support you. So maybe it is when you are small or new team in some city, I would recommend you to support also PR, and you can invite some, for example, some marketing agency and so on, to help you how to support and strengthen your PR. And it is very close what Vojta was talking about social media, about storytelling, about posts, about advertisement, and a lot of marketing agency, they are willing and opening for help, but you have to ask them. And then when you will be more known in your area, it is much more easy to ask for money. Sometimes you need material gifts of, for example, when you do some event, some drinking, some food, some transport, and so on. I don't know how it is for you. I think it's the easiest things. How can company help? Because they have, for example, bigger company, they have plenty of material gifts they are open to give, and they are really very open to help also to a small event. And I will recommend you to find a local companies, for example, with drinks or with from restaurant. And I think that the charity changed a lot in several years. And now I think it's much more easy to ask for 100 bottles of water for your sportsmen and sportswomen. And they would like to be the part of that. Then you can also ask for help, some IT companies for Google Analytics or PR or something like this. Maybe it is a lot, but you can think about what we need and what we can ask for the company or the people around us. Because, for example, we had also one volunteer in Adra in Brno, and he was from IT company. He helped a lot with a lot of things with computers and IT system and so on. And he told me that I'm not able to go to elderly people, but I am able to help in what I can do perfect. And it is, as I said, with private television, ask them, the people, how can be helpful, what they can do in the best way. So you have to know what do you need. For example, before the event or some competition, you can make the list, and maybe you can find, oh, there it isn't there it isn't need to buy it. We can ask. For example, we do Adraran in several cities, and we have very good some experience that a lot of companies give us ice creams or beers or something like this. So just ask them and ask them for what they are perfect. We can go on, Vojta, please. What can you offer for cooperation? And it is, as I said, for the first time, fundraising isn't about opening the hand. It is about building the cooperation. So now I would like to offer what I offer the most for cooperation. And it's something like when you are in some perfect hotel for the perfect breakfast, and there are a lot of things you would like to have. Some cookies, some coffee, some fruits, everything is perfect. And this is very similar, something like perfect buffet, and what you offer, because there are a lot of things when what you can offer to the companies or to the locals communities for cooperation. For them, it is the most important that cooperation should be meaningful. As I said, it will works very easy when someone has disabled child or someone who is very close to disabled people. Then he will have heart in it, and it will make sense to be the part of some competition or Bocha event. We can go on, Vojta. Sure, you will ask for financial donation. This I have to say that it's very important. As I said, you have to know what you need, financial donation, and properly the right amount of money. We can go on. Material donation also, as I said, company volunteering. Maybe I would like to spend a little bit time and talk about company volunteering. I love company volunteering. We started maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And last year we had about 35 companies which were helpful with us. They are open. They are really open to help you. And I think that, for example, Boccia competition, I can imagine a lot of companies, corporate companies, which would be very open to be the part of some event to help you to take care about disabled people on wheelchairs. For example, we have one in Czech Republic is very famous music festival, Colors of Ostrava, and there are 40,000 people, a lot of people, and they support a lot disabled people. And we have, for example, volunteers from several companies which are taking care about disabled people, and they enjoy the music festival together. So, and it makes me very sense that you ask companies for help. Give us the time, your time. For them, it is easy to give them 1 or 2 or 3 days a year. We do a lot of stuff with them. We are gardening elderly houses, and we are helping outside a lot, or also we invite them, for example, to take elderly people on a wheelchair to go out, to go to cafeteria, to go to the shops. It's a small things maybe, but for elderly people, it is only once a year when they can go outside, only because we have company volunteers. So company volunteering, I think, is a great opportunity how you can help to organize all your events. And I think that companies would pay also, for example, for some event, something like team building, that you can learn how to talk with disabled people, how to take care about disabled people, how to go on, and how it is difficult to go on a wheelchair. And also it makes the connection, because when they meet, for example, with us old people, they are changing. For me, there was 2 things which are I didn't expect that happen. A lot of company volunteers told me and write me, I would like to go to much more often to my grandma and my grandfather. For me, it was really very unexpected, and I realized it makes sense. It is much more to go to some other people, unknown people for the first time, but they feel that they are important. So I think that you will find a lot of interesting companies which are open to help you and also to have fun with you. For example, as I said, to have wheelchair race for them, or for the kids, or the children day for the company's kids, and so on. There are a lot of possibilities what you can offer in company volunteering. We can go on. And also maybe I can tell you that they are ready for payment for company volunteering. There in Czech Republic, there are a lot of services companies which also take care about company volunteerings, and they are pretty expensive. So also don't be shy to ask. You give us company volunteering, but we also take care about them. We have to learn them. We insure them. So we also ask for money, not too much, but it's helpful. Also, as I said, you can do a lot of events for employees or for kids from sport clubs which are around you. And also when you will find some open heart people, which would like to learn, kids from sport clubs, how to be in a connection with disabled people, you can have marvelous children day or something like this. And it will also help to your PR to open your team, that you are also the part of a community. I think it is the most important that a lot of NGO or clubs with disabled people are close in themselves. And I would like to inspire to be open, to have open eyes and open heart, and to make new connection. Maybe you have never seen it before, and to invite people to be the part of you, that we are all normal people, our charity is normal, and your people which you are the part of are also normal and are great. So opening it is very important to be and offer them some fun events for employees. We can go on. Maybe you don't know, there is the most famous donation day, Giving Tuesday. This year it is December the 3rd of December. It is something opposite of Black Friday, and a lot of companies and big companies would like to be the part of it. I think that almost in every European country, Giving Tuesday is held. For example, in Czech Republic, it is, I think, for 8 or 9 years, something like this. And in this day, they are open to be helpful a lot as volunteer or to donate money. And they want to share that they are the part of that. So you can look on Giving Tuesday in your country. It is very easy to be part of that as your club, and you can invite your around company, or you just be the part and feel free to ask to donate and to support you. And for people working with disabled people, they told me that for them it is very successful. So just look at it. It is just a tip for you, Giving Tuesday. Oh, sorry. So we can continue. And also, as I told you, it is also good to share that you offer ESG partnership and PR partnership. It is interesting that a lot of donors or companies or local communities, they don't want to share that they are donors. And on the opposite, a lot of companies or donors, they would like to be, for example, to have logo somewhere. It depends, and you have to ask for that, how they feel it, how it is important for them. And I, as I said in on the first slide, ESG partnership is a very spoken topic, so you can offer it. So now it is something like beautiful buffet, fundraising buffet in the morning in some beautiful hotel, that it is about cooperation, about finance, about material gifts, company volunteering, some fun events, and to be open to people, and also to think about ESG partnership. When I am on some meeting, I will also tell it after a while, but I listen to them what is important and what they would like to support, and they tell it. You have to ask them, and people, they will tell it. We can go on, Vojta, please. Now there is a list who can be your donor. It could be state or state region. It could be also foundation, local or abroad. There are a lot of abroad foundation and big foundation, and you just have to look and find it. And they are open to support disabled people, companies, and also companies which are local. I would recommend to go to your city or maybe to your region, and they are really open to support local things. Then it is very important to find companies which have the topic of your interest. For example, some sport shops, some e-shops, some healthcare clinics, and or insurance, spa, manufacturers of rehabilitation aids, something which are connected to you, because, for example, manufacturers, they earn money of rehabilitation aids, and they will support disabled people. They will not support, for example, old people or young kids. It's better, young kids or young teenagers. They will support what makes sense to them and from what they earn money. Also, healthcare or spa, you should ask this: what will make sense to them, and as I said several times ago, that they need to have meaningful cooperation. So I would like to invite you to find the right topic of interest, and then it makes sense to them and it support the long-term cooperation. Also, now I have a lot of trainers who supports kids to donate or to support some events. So also you can cooperate with sports clubs, kids club, but especially local. Also, in every country, there are a lot of platforms. In Czech, it is Darujme and Donio, and they are very successful. It is very, I have to say, it's very easy to ask for money via these platforms. It is transparent, it is quickly, and I would recommend you to use these digital platforms than some boxes for money or something like that. People are used to donate. For example, in Czech, they are very generous and they are great for supporting other people or some event, but they need support. They would like to give very quickly. They would like to pay by your pay card, and they need to use it for tax report giving after 1 year. So you need to offer and to taking care of your donors or individual donors in this way, because it's very close to the business, as I said for the first time. So local platforms, digital platforms, I think it is the most important. And there was some connection that people can give to the box with the coins, and they should pay by the card on some platform, and it was 10 or 20 times, it depends, much more when they pay by card. So I would like to invite you, don't use box for coins. You will fundraise so much money, so less money. So be more clever about it and think about how we can ask people for much more money. And I think it's also important to think about what is pleasant for me. For me, I don't like when someone stops me on the street. I don't know him. I don't know what is the purpose of the donation. So, but when I can read something, I can connect them. I can do it on my phone. It's easy for me to donate, and I would like to support them quite often. So think also what is good for you, what is pleasant for you, and do the same to your donors. We can go on, Poita, please. So you have already donors. And then I would like to recommend only 2 things. Ask them for the connection to their partners, because, for example, from the big companies, they can support you and they have their business partners, and they are when I ask them, please connect me to your great partner, to your business partner, and invite them to support us, it's from 80 or 90% successful, because the donors, they have their story why they support you, and he tells the story to the partner, And then it is because they are very close to each other, they are open to support us or you. So it is the easiest fundraising way, just to ask your donors to their business partners. And maybe the sentence is strange, ask them for more money. But sometimes some fundraisers tell me some company, they give us the same amount of money for 10 years. I think it's bad, because everything is much more expensive, and it's fair, and it's properly fair to ask for more money. For example, for 20% more when they give you 1,000 or 10,000 crowns, it's very easy after several years to ask them for more money, for example, 12,000 crowns. So don't be afraid to ask for more money when they support you for several years, very same amount of money. We can go on. You want a new donor. How to get in touch? Someone use email, someone use phone. I don't use it. For me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work to write some emails. And because there is silence, there is no answer. Some fundraisers use phone for the first time, for the first touch. I don't use it. For me, it is unpleasant. For me, I use the most networking events or some company events, mainly LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is, as Vojta said, is the perfect platform for fundraising. You will just find the right person, from CSR or HR or the CEO of company, and you will write the message. For me, sometimes someone asks me, what do you write them for the first time? I write them, I'm interested in your view of supporting charity, what you are helpful in. And people, they love to talk about what they support, what they are help to, who they help to, and they are very open to talk to it. I don't ask for money. I ask for what is your is your charity goal or something like this, or CSR goal. And for me, it is successful. So I would like to recommend it. It is for maybe 80% successful. We can go on, because I know that there is so much time. On first time meeting, I will just share my experience. You can use online meeting or personal meeting. I think also online meeting works very well due to COVID. We can go on. I listen more than I talk. As I said, it's very important to ask right question, because people will tell you what they are interested in, if it is education or disabled people, or if they support or no support, or if they would like to have some company volunteering team, they will tell you. But for me, for the 2 years when I started to be fundraiser, I had perfect presentation. Now I have nothing. I just ask and I talk, and I'm interested in his point of view of charity and donation. So I listen much more than I talk. We can go on. I offer much more than I ask for. As I said, the buffet, the fundraising buffet, you can you can offer your several possibilities, what they can be helpful for your event or your competition you prepare. So I offer more than I ask for. No doesn't mean no forever. As I told it, it's very important to think about it, because you will hear, or your fundraiser will hear no quite often. I stay in touch. As I told you, it's very good to use your phone to connect with people via LinkedIn. it was very funny when I when Vojta was calling me last week, 1 week ago. It was very funny because after call, I think it was 1 hour or 10 minutes after we finished the call, we connect via LinkedIn and Facebook and so on. And it was the right way how to think about the connection and making a relationship. So you stay in touch and you can talk about your, for example, Boccia event, and he will see how you think about the Boccia event. For me, as I said, 2 years ago, it was a very hard time, and I post some post on LinkedIn about how I felt, how I felt the situation, what I learned from the situation, and maybe the second day, some donor he told me. It was very important that also I share my experience, something from me, and they will trust you. And this is also very important point of view, that trust is very strong, but also fragile. And you will build trust between donor and you, fundraiser, and donor, Boccia team, or something you do around and in your social sport inclusion. We can go on. Sum up the meeting in email. Sometimes it can be that you will meet a person who isn't responsible for financial or making decision. It isn't decision maker. So it is very important to sum up the meeting very shortly. And after 1 week to call, then I call, oh, what is the conclusion? What is the financial or material decision from your company? And it is very important to sum up the email, because it happened to me a lot that the lady, as I was talking, she understand maybe 20%, and she represent my presentation very bad. So for me, it is very important to sum up the meeting, what I want to have written, and then she can use it or he can use it to the director or CEO or CFO and so on. We can go on. Taking care, as I said, it is very important part. For me, it is very important to be the part of companies. How I do it, I offer them to be the part of their TV screen, for example, in companies or local communities, because they have the TV screen, and I share them some beautiful photos, because photos tells a lot of stories during the photos, and emotions, and fundraising is about emotions, and it is one possibility. And when I would like to visit every important donor once a year, and I give them, for example, some photo which is behind me, very beautiful photo with their logo on it, and it is like big picture. So then we are the part of their company, and I think it's very small things, but it very helps to be the part of their office. So be the part of them, stay in touch, be interested in donor, not in his or her donation. They feel that. They feel it if you are interested in him or her, or only in her or his money. And I think you can have a lot of possibilities to invite your donor to your events, to meet, for example, a disabled people or to Paralympionic, and they will be the part of your club, and it will work. They will have emotion in it. And as I said, fundraising is about making relationship. Some sentences are the same, but are very important to stay in your mind, I think. We can go on. And it is my last sentence. but maybe you will have some question, and I'm ready to answer them. Fundraising is a journey. It changes a lot. You have to look also about business, and after 2 or 3 years, it reflects a little bit in charity and fundraising and so on. And it is a journey that you will learn a lot. You will meet very interesting people who are open to help. And for me, it is a journey that I go step by step, and I meet wonderful people on the journey. And maybe I would like to invite you also to this journey and to find the right people who will support you.
Hi, my name is Veronika Mackova, and I'm going to present you perception of para-athletes. I'm pretty sad because I can't be with you, but I hope that you are going to join this presentation. Actually, I'm connecting with parasports for a long time because I've been working like a sports reporter, commentator, and moderator in the Czech television in the sports office from 2008 till 2022, and I did a lot of report with para athletes in the Czech Republic and also abroad because I was also in Tokyo Paralympic Games, for example, or I was a host in a studio in 2018 in Pyeongchang, and also in 2022 in Beijing. So I'm also an academic researcher, so that's why I'm going to a little bit introduce the perception of athletes from my dissertation thesis. And right now I'm in the Dominican Republic because I'm also the reality show content director in Survivor. And I've been working in a Czech Paralympic Committee like a director of communication, so this presentation will be also about the communication. The history of Paralympic sports began in 1944 when Sir Ludwig Guttmann founded a rehabilitation center for the treatment of spinal cord injuries in Stoke Mandeville. This facility housed a large number of war veterans who ended up in wheelchairs, and sport was a part of the treatment. In 1948, athletes participated in the first Stoke Mandeville Games, which are the forerunner of the Paralympic Games as we know them today. Today, the Paralympic Games are one of the biggest sporting events in the world, and also the International Paralympic Committee is working to raise social awareness of people with a disability. At the same time, the games and their stakeholders also have an impact on attitudes towards people with a disability. As I said, the International Paralympic Committee is trying to raise social awareness of people with a disability and wants the general public to move away from perceiving parasport as a therapeutic tool, but they want people to perceive parasport as a professional sport, so I mean full-fledged sports. Despite these efforts, the Paralympic Games are often the only time that athletes with a disability are in the news around the world. Of course, some countries has like more footage from parasports during the year, but most of them have the like parasports in the main news only during the Paralympic Games. But the number of hours of Paralympic coverage and the number of television viewers watching parasports is increasing worldwide, so I think we are in a good way. Also, we are moving away from terms such as disabled or handicapped athlete and replacing them with para-athlete. So I think this is also improving in our newspapers. So here you can see the graphs. The graphs is about, for example, the blue line is about countries with broadcasting rights, the pink one is broadcasting time in hours, and the green line is number of TV viewers in millions. So you can see how big numbers we have in Tokyo 2020. So, but the only way to follow the athletes' performances at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games was through television coverage. So maybe that's why, but also you can see the increasing numbers from 2004. For example, there were only 25 countries with broadcasting rights, and in Tokyo 2020 it was like 177 countries. So I think it's big difference between these years. So here we are continuing with Channel 4. You know that Channel 4 is like a TV station from United Kingdom, and they did and they still do a great job with Paralympic sports and also parasports. You also know that in 2012 was the Paralympic Games in London, so they did an amazing job. They like broadcast 2 weeks before the Paralympic Games. Promotional and every information about the Paralympic Games, para athletes, and they really broadcast it as an allied sport, not like not like sports for athlete with a disability. So I think it's the biggest difference between Channel 4 and other station, because they are not only broadcasting the personal stories of athletes, but they are promoting also the sports side. Channel 4 journalists use their programs to give viewers the necessary parasport vocabulary. You can see in this picture Lexi. It's like a special system. They were using it also during the Paralympic Games. And you can, from this picture, you can recognize who is in which category. So you can see swimming category 6S, or a 6. So you can see that there will be people without hand, legs, and also the people who has legs and hand, but they were using wheelchair, for example. So they were teaching the viewers about the para sports, and I think the lexicographics is like very useful for the TV viewers. My dissertation thesis dealt with the perception of para-athletes by television viewers, and very interesting results came out of it, because if you remember the Stoke Mandeville games and so on, so we are going back to the very beginning in the Czech Republic, where para-sports originated and was perceived only as a rehabilitation element. So only para-ice hockey is an exception. Because I think it's because para ice hockey has similar rules to hockey, so everyone sits on the sledge and spectators don't have to deal with classification, and everything is very clear, and the rules is very clear because only some of the rules are like different, for example T-sticks for the penalties and so on. So also in the Czech Republic, para ice hockey has a special position, because the organization of World Para Ice Hockey Championship in 2019 in Ostrava was great, because the organizers did a great job, and the arena was like pretty full, like more than 8,000 people were there, so it was like a huge success. And also one of the most famous sports commentator, Robert Záruba, was commenting the games, and also he's promoting para ice hockey in hockey program. So it's also something special, because the para ice hockey is like in the broadcasting about like the classic ice hockey. So I think this is also special position. No other sports have this position in the Czech Republic. And also the World Cup, I mean the World Para Ice Hockey Championship in Ostrava. It has a great success also in Czech television. The semifinal against United States was watched by an average of 181,000 viewers over the age of 15. So it was the most watched program on ČT Sport in the sport channel in the May 2019. So it's really great numbers. And I hope it will be also better because the Czech TV is also dealing with other sports. So I think also the live broadcasting of Paralympic sports are like a little bit growing. I just remember, for example, from this summer, from 2023, the World Championships in archery in Pilsen. So we also had the live broadcasting. So I think it's great. I already mentioned it one slide before. In my dissertation thesis, I did in-depth semi-structure interviews. I think it was like 20 interviews, and after that I did focus groups, like big 5 focus groups, show that parasport is still perceived as a therapeutic element. And we are returning to origin of parasports to the Stoke Mandeville. So this is something different because the International Paralympic Committee is trying to professionalize the sports and pushing the sports to the higher level. So I think we still have a lot of work behind us here in the Czech Republic. And also parasports motivates other people with a disability according to TV viewers. And what's I think the worrying is that people still feel sorry for para athletes. So we have to do something that they can't feel sorry for para athletes, because we would like to perceive para athletes like a professional sports persons. Now you can read some of the sentences, some of the answers from people from the in-depth semi-structure interviews and also from the focus groups. Sometimes they feel like both emotional. Firstly, they feel sorry for them because they think that it makes their life harder, I mean the disability, and after that they admire them for not giving up and doing the para sports and so on. So it's pretty hard because the feelings is like mixed. But what we would like to really want is that they are not feeling sorry about them. Here are another examples. For example, a 63-year-old woman who has observed athletes with a disability several times spoke about being touched. She said, when I watch athletes with a disability, I feel bad. I definitely feel sorry for them. They don't have it easy in life. When I see, for example, a person who doesn't have one arm doing archery, I feel sorry for them. These are people who were not lucky in life. Sometimes it touched me a lot. So again, she's not feeling good because she feels so pity about their situation and stuff like that, and she feels so sorry about athletes with a disability. Or on the other hand, a female spectator not following parasport spoke of great inner. So I admire that they find that strength within themselves. They stick to something, and I think that's what keeps them going, that they stick. I can't imagine myself in their shoes or in their position. So it's sometimes it's pretty hard because sport journalism is about the stories, so you have to broadcasting also the stories, but it depends how you are going to broadcasting the stories about para athlete. So it's something like that you can do it like in the better way, because if the broadcasting will be only about the emotion, it will never goes in the right way for the professional sports. I had in my dissertation 4 main research questions. You know, the first one, how do the television viewers perceive athletes with a disability? Does the audience admire or pity these athletes? What do viewers say about the presentation of disabled sports? Or can we identify any differences between the presentation of athletes with and without a disability? To answer the question above, the audience watching disabled sports was examined through the use of focus groups and interviews. The audience, it was like 50 television viewers, was divided into 5 equal large group. In the first group, there were people without a disability who had been watching the Paralympic magazine in Czech television and have no disabled person in their family. The second group was composed of people without a disability who did not watch the Paralympic magazine and did not have any family member with a disability. In the third group, there were family members of disabled athletes who have been watching the Paralympic magazine. The next group were people with disabilities who did not do sports at the top level. And in the last group, there were the 10 Paralympic athletes with a disability. Interviews with 20 respondents were used as a complementary method. So also you can see here the answers, for example, from athletes and people with a disability. They perceive this situation differently. A top athlete with a disability described that good performances are the best promotion of disability sports or disability like ever. The coverage of the disabled is great. They are dudes. That's what will do the most advertising. So you see that the like it's absolutely different way, for example, than the family members, because they are also caring and also feeling a little bit pity and so on. But athletes themselves, they would like to just show us the best sports performance. I'm going to sum up the first part of the presentation, and then I will continue to the second part of the presentation, which will be like much more about boccia. The top athletes were aware of the small audience interest. They compared the media space for parasports to table tennis or firefighting. In addition to the story, respondents would welcome an explanation of the handicap or about the classification, because for them it's not clear, the classification. I mean, uh, if I will tell you some example, I will tell you the story about Arnošt Petráček, because Arnošt was mentioned like many times in the interviews and also in the focus group, and the audience and the spectators and viewers like don't know how it's possible that he is in the same group, for example, like a wheelchair user. So that's not clear for them, and I think Paralympic committees like have to work on it, because after that also the media will have like more information about the classification, and they can use it in the news, they can use it in the articles and so on. So it will be like much more better if the Paralympic committees will work on it. And after that I also can mention that Jiří Ježek is a celebrity. So it's possible to have also celebrities in parasports, and you know a lot of people who like doesn't watch the parasports knows him like from other kind of other kind of news or other kind of topics. So I think he's one of the most known para athletes in the world, of course, because he is a 6-time Paralympic winner. and television viewers consider parasport as a therapeutic element. I was talking about it, so only the except is para ice hockey. The strongest emotions were evoked by the contributors of viewers who do not follow disability sports, of course. Viewers who follow parasports also had a strong experience with the coverage of the boccia players' preparation for the Paralympic Games. Amputees and some other athletes did not evoke such a pity. So we are going to talk about it, because in another slide I have an example about the boccia. Boccia is a sport for people with the most severe disabilities, which is why the level of pity was highest for the TV demonstration of this particular sport. In the group of TV viewers who have followed parasport at least several times, there was a surprise. Two respondents expect a worse spoken speech from Kamil Vasicek, who has to use a ramp and a ramp operator to play. And they were very surprised that he spoke better than Kateřina Curinova, who does not seems to have such a severe disability. So this is also about how it can look like on TV. And what could be done differently? The classification must be clearly explained. This is like must. Sporting achievements must be discussed, not just life stories, and boccia has a lot to offer. The final of the BC3 category, I mean the final in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, was very exciting at the Games. And for me, it was the greatest experience of the Tokyo 2020 Games. So you can also broadcast it like a really interesting match. This is the example what could be done differently. Behind the scenes must also be shown so that the fans, spectators, readers, or whoever understand as much as possible what the game is about. So here you can see Ivana Pešková and Adam Peška, and they were discussing the preparation and they were discussing the balls and stuff like that. And you can see the number, more than 60,000 people can watch this video. So this is not normal in the Facebook of the Czech Paralympic Committee. So I think this is also the way how to show and how to promote the boccia. So if you would like to have any questions about the research or about promoting parasports or any information or any questions, just let me know. You can contact me via email. And I'm so sorry that I can't be with you there. I know it's pretty hard to have the attention because you can't see me and it's online. So I hope we can meet in the future, like in person. Thank you for your attention and see you soon.